Hey guys, welcome to the motive. A reason for doing something, especially when it's not obvious, or maybe it is to some people. But today we're going to be talking about motivation. What motivates you? It's all different for everybody. It's very specific. I think we're going to overall talk about most popular motivations for most people. We're going to kind of share ours personally. So I think it'll be a good blend, and we'll just toss them around. So um, what are some typical
Yeah.
motivations for people, Jared? What do you think some of the top motivations people have for things?
Oh man, I mean, depends on what YouTube channel you're watching, what's going on in your life, what conspiracy theories you have seen or heard recently. But honestly, I mean, some people are motivated by their work, their family, the vacation they have coming up. They're angry at the world and they got to prove a point. They're what do you call that? Their misfortunes, if you will, sometimes, right? There's a lot of different things. I mean, I can say right now for me, it's about family. It's about mini legacy. It's this and that. I could say 20 years ago, it was about living to the next day and having a good night partying and just living that lifestyle, leisure, if you
Right.
will. So it changes. We're in different seasons of our lives. People have different motivations, different parts of the country, different cultures, and different reasons are all going to be something that will change your motivation. But at the end of the day, you have to be motivated to do something. There's always a motivation. I don't care if you're depressed, negative, Nancy, whatever. You technically have a motivation to stay negative. So
Right. If
it,
you
it,
if you back it out, you're motivated by something. So
yeah, to me, it's like motivation, not the motive. Don't be confused. Motivation, my definition is it's something I consistently do to get to a place I want to be. Maybe right, like what again, whatever that is. Like if I want to be on that island and I want to manifest that idea and I do all this stuff to kind of motivate me and get me there so I can eventually be there. Or if I want people to feel sorry for me, I'm constantly kind of maybe negative and blaming and pointing fingers, something like that. But whether I admit it or not, consciously or subconsciously, it's something I'm driving towards.
right.
Um, so yeah, that's my view in a nutshell.
Yeah, my motivation view is, I think it's that drive that pushes you to do something, that pushes you to reach whatever you want to reach. Like you said, work, family, work, I want to make a certain amount of money. Family, I want to take care of my family. I want to make enough money from work to provide for my family. Family, I want to have 4 kids. Like, what drives you in these things? They all tie in together sometimes too, right?
Right.
Um, right. Recreation. I want to be able to afford a boat. I want to be able to play with my kids. What motivates you to go to the gym, to be able to be in good health when you're 50, so you can play with your kids? Like everything's behind has some motivation to it, right?
Yeah.
Um, you talked about anger and pain. That one, that one's a sensitive one for most people, is because I think that can be trauma driven. That can be bad parenting driven. That can be a lot of different things. You've had some bad relationships. That could be a lot of things, right? That can draw that one up. I find that one to be a lot in my area, and a lot of your motivation can be blind with that one, because you don't even know where you're going with some of these. You said your drive and you want to have a finish point. A lot of
Mhm.
that, those people have that motivation. They have the angry, blind drive that they don't even know where they're going. They just have the motivation that they're moving. They're running, they're moving, but they don't know where they're going sometimes. So I don't know if that's always the healthiest one. Um, it's just they're always wanting to do something, but where's the finish point? Where's the end point on that one? So, and then you
Yeah.
said, yeah, like proving someone wrong, basically. That's very tied into that. Is like, who hurt you? What did you do? Are you just want to be better than someone? Are you very competitive? Or you just want to be better than the next person next to you? Your siblings? What is that? So there's a wild variety. I fall into a little bit of all those, right? I think we all do. It's one of those personality tests where you're 5% this, 20% this, and all that, right? So
Mhm.
whatever is your main motivation, but um, yeah, I find, yeah. I mean, I think it's very helpful to do that test. Maybe, I don't know, put a percentage on your motivation, understand yourself. I think self evaluation and assessment really helps with this. Know what motivates you. If you're motivated by
What are
money and you're
what? Yeah, say yeah. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to jump in and ask, like, personally, like, what are your reasons? What reasons do you find that motivate you? Or, well, I guess we'll use ourselves as examples because everybody's different, right? So,
Yeah, like I said, I mean, if money motivates you, like, are you gonna be, want to work at McDonald's? Probably not. Like, right? You're not gonna. That's not gonna be a good endpoint. What motivates me is, yeah, I think I grew up in a small town, this and that. Like, I want to prove people wrong. I want to prove that, you know, that I just want to prove people wrong. I want to have that, like, I told you so factor almost with a lot of things. I'm comfortable with a lot of things as far as, like, family. I let those things go. I don't let family motivate me. I just love and everything on that point. But I think I'm high on, like, the proving people wrong and trying to, like, overcome things. That's my motivation, even though I don't even know where that ends. And that's why I think it falls into me being very consistent with things. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time for why or what reason, but I'm motivated. Like, I don't need a fire. Like, my engine's always burning, pretty much is kind of where I'm at on that. So
that's
um
awesome. I love that. Yeah, that's
um
cool. Yeah, no, I mean, because I was just asking, like, your motivation, because everybody's different, right? It's like we're all
right.
different. Like right now, a lot of people are like certain routines that they have. Like, I gotta wake up and spend my 5 hour routine every morning. And now I see a lot of people trending like, oh, if you have to do a routine, you're stupid, But no, it's not stupid. It's just what works for you. Like, stop listening to other people. Stop doing what you think you're told to do. That is the first wrong kind of mindset to have motivation, is to constantly change it, because you're going to hear something different tomorrow than what you hear today. And if you're going off of what you're doing, if you're just listening to people, you're never going to find, you're never
Your
going to have the right
motivation.
motivation, right? The right vision of where you want to be. Like, you might be, and I know you don't do this well, but like, if you're just following other people's motivation, like, you might have saw somebody trying to prove somebody wrong from a small town recently, and then tomorrow somebody's chasing having how they want to have a jet, and then you're all of a sudden, oh wow, now my new goal is to have a jet.
Right.
But it's I'm going to stick with it because mine is to prove people wrong of how they vision me or how they think of me, uh, as
Yeah,
your motivation. That keeps
I can't
driving you.
I can't stand when people do that and they look up. You see people. I mean, everything's social media driven. I know we always talk about it, but yeah, if you see people on Instagram, this and that, let that be an inspiration. Don't let that be your motivation. That's what I would say, and have
That's a
that
good way.
inspire
Word.
you to be motivated and to find your own motivation. If Grant Cardone or whatever his name is tells you something, and you're like, no, you don't have to do what he did or what he said or what he did, but maybe that sparks something in your mind to motivate you to do something. So that's how I would take those kind of things, and
Right.
not just try and emulate somebody else's motivation, because it's not yours, or it's theirs.
You
So
don't own it, and at the end of the day, the results won't be yours; they'll be theirs. Those
right.
are other people's results that you're trying to get to, because maybe you don't have a clear vision of yourself. Maybe you need a vision board. Maybe you need to write it down. Maybe you do need a routine. Maybe you need to take a screenshot of it and put it on your phone or your computer or your wall or whatever the case is. Or maybe you don't need any of that because you're so strong willed that it is in your head, and you're so driven that you repeat it in your head thousands of times throughout the day, and it's embedded in you. But regardless of how you do it, the main thing is that you're doing something, right? You're staying motivated. You're keeping yourself motivated. It's a hard world right now out there for a lot of people, and there's people way down here on the way they feel, their mindset, depression. There's people, high on life still, no matter what happens, no matter what circumstances get there, because their motivation and their drive for whatever it is greater than what's going on in the world today.
Right. Yeah. That's perfectly said. I think, yeah, if you can clear up your vision, clear up your motivational basis, if you will, you'll make an easier time for yourself, just having that as a starter, as a gasoline for your fire, for your engine running your entire life. So that's
Right.
how I see it, as motivation is the gasoline that fires your life, pretty much. So
Yeah.
it applies to
And
everything,
staying
right? I mean,
disciplined too. I think staying disciplined is good. Like, give yourself, rewards and punishment if you have to, or something like that, right? Like, like if you're on a diet, right? They always have those cheat days, or maybe you don't have it. I've been dealing with this in my family for the last month or so, or a couple months. So, give yourself that cheat day, or if you don't get those, give yourself some type of reward. And the reward ultimately is in the results of what you're trying to do and stay motivated for. by the way, that is a cheat code side note. The reward is at the end. The reward is long term, not short term. But give yourself little rewards and give yourself little disciplinary punishments, right? If you don't get there, whatever those are. It could be like, usually I veg out from 8:30 to 9, but now I'm in trouble. I got to put myself in bed at 8:30. Whatever it is, a bad example maybe, but I think if you do certain things like that, that kind of helps your accountability and discipline. For some people, again, these are just ideas, like throwing the vision board around, throwing the routines around, throwing the punishment system or reward system rather around. Is there anything that you do? I mean, are you pretty have strong willpower on like your vision and your motivation for yourself, Will, or do you have to put yourself in check sometimes to get back on track and stay motivated?
Yeah, everything's interchangeable or connected in somehow. I mean, like I said before, I have that motivation is just within me. I don't even know what I'm motivated about, but I'm motivated. If I start something new, a new hobby, a new thing, a new idea, I'm motivated about it just off the bat. So I have that within me. So I think I'm very lucky to have that. But like I said, I don't have an end goal for it all the time. It might be just something stupid that fizzles out. But to start, I do have the motivation. And I think you said about like outlining and having clear vision of stuff. I like to have some borders because that helps you. It's like staying in the lines pretty much. If you don't, you're going to be drawing outside of the lines. So it helps me keep myself in check, even though I do pretty much do that. But at the same time, you do need a little bit of check and balance on yourself because we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all try to cheat ourselves even. So it does help to have that counsel or checks and balances for your own self, if you will. So,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, totally do that. I make outlines for myself. I make borders for myself. I don't write them down because I'm a very, I'm always thinking. I'm probably overthinking. That's why I don't sleep well at night. I'm working on that, by the way. But I have these borders with built into my systems of my mind, basically. So call me foolish or whatever for that. But that's kind of how I think. And if I'm doing something wrong, I want to fix it. I want to be a better person. How those like this is a good way of how I think of myself, or try to think of myself. Those people that are portrayed so well on the internet or this and that, or whoever it is, a famous person. Even though I'm not that person, I'm not going to be as good as I try to portray myself like I'm being watched like that person, or I'm being videotaped like that person, or I try to portray myself, even though I'll probably never achieve that person or be perceived in that way. I always try to be that person. So how can I make
will
myself
never
that?
be
I
that
check and
person.
balance myself. What's that?
I said you will never be that person. You'll be the best person or best version of yourself. I think.
No,
So.
I'm just saying, like, how how would I want to be perceived? And I think like I'm always trying to check and balance and motivate myself to do better in these things. So I think, and we
That's
always
good.
talk about the Kobe mentality: the 1% better a day makes you 99% better in 99 days. Whatever you want to say for yourself. It's true though. Like if you try and improve little increments in a year, you're going to be a lot better in these cases. So yeah, you might drop off in some other things, but overall, it's a net positive. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Stay
so,
motivated. And force motivation in you. Sometimes you need it. I think sometimes people get
well,
complacent or get discouraged and they got to kick themselves in the butt.
recognize that you don't have self motivation and get yourself inspired. Don't sit all day and watch 47 hours of guys doing stuff and that it's calling calling yourself motivated at that point. Yeah, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. All right, let me watch another video. Like, no, that's just, pull it from somewhere. I don't know, I don't know who you are, your past, your present, your future, whatever. I don't know where you came from. I don't know what's going to motivate you, but finding that is going to help you so much with whatever you're doing, family, friends, the whole thing, work, lifestyle, the whole nine. It's going to help you build a good basis for everything. So finding it's the hard part. Yeah, it's not always easy. It's not easy.
I think off topic here, but I just had to throw that out there. It's been a while. The best motivation that I get for myself is when I actually do something and accomplish it and finish it. That gets me up. My juice is flowing. I get super fired up. Like I thought about when you were talking right now, because so many people think I'm motivated because I watched 15 hours of YouTube videos or something like that. That's great, but if you don't follow through, it's like a drug. Like it'll give you a little high and then you're going to crash even harder, I think.
Right.
If you're going to learn something, you have to follow through on it, or that motivation will sink harder. And every time it goes down a little bit more each time, and it lowers that motivation. It's harder to get that motivation again. Exactly like a drug, I think. Like
Oh
I'll
yeah.
be up in here, and then it's going to slowly be not as good, not as much motivation, and bigger crashes and harder to get back on it.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, right? Like, and I could say I've been there where I'm like, get so discouraged because I haven't followed through on stuff too. So if that is something that other people have gone through as well, then I relate, and I'm sure a lot of other people relate too. But the best part is, like I said, you do it, you get pumped up, you're motivated, you finish something, and then you're like on a new high, a new level of motivation. And you know, sometimes you're just like not sleeping, you forget what day it is. Those are good feelings sometimes to me, because it's like I'm so involved in something else and so motivated, so pumped up to get to a certain spot, to do something for my family, to do something for a vacation, do something for whatever motivates me.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think that I believe that, yeah, you're totally right. Doing hard things, accomplishments are those little things that you can control to help with your motivation, right? You can learn yourself more. People always use this as like doing a hard workout, accomplishing a hard workout. It's hard. You don't really want to do it. I didn't want to wake up at 6 to go to the gym. It wasn't that. But it's a small thing that you can control and you can actually do that was hard and accomplish. And you can control those little wins sometimes to give yourself momentum later on. So I think those are big things that if you can figure those little things out, it'll carry you on. Momentum is a huge thing. So that comes
Right.
with this motivation type of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So yeah, I think that's a good way to probably good. I mean, again, these are our views, our thoughts on it right now with this topic, at least. You know, if you can't do it on yourself, find a battle buddy. Find somebody else that needs support or might be on the same level as you, to help you out. But ultimately, it's going to come down to you and your motivation. Having somebody else talking to us, battle buddies or whatever you want to call it, is like a jump start. Go back and find out what motivates you. Go forward with that, and you know, just always try to be better. We have the old saying, right? If you're not growing, you're dying or shrinking, however you want to look at it. And
Yeah. Have you ever heard of anybody say,
not driven for something?
have you ever heard of anybody say, just try to be badder or worse?
Yeah.
Let's keep being worser.
Let's keep getting worser.
Okay.
I don't know. Words, I don't know.
That's not a word, but yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
I like it. Good
all right.
Good talk, Willie. I like this one. We'll continue doing more of these videos as well, talking about different topics, whether it's the market, whether it's lifestyle, whether it's, you know, pet peeves, or
We might do some silly things here and there, or yeah, send us a topic that you might want us to talk about. We can do that as well. So yeah, thanks for listening to this. Hope it helps. Hope it was useful. Hope it motivates you.